Welcome back. We've got Comrade Ogbonna Obena, who is the National Vice Chairman of JOHESU. He's also the National President of the Nigeria Union of Allied Health Professionals. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you, Chamberlain.
And we're talking about JOHESU and the strike now. Yeah. Several notices, I beg your pardon, several comments from JOHESU. I mean, we know JOHESU from time past, you always embark on one action or notice or the other. What is the grounds with JOHESU this time?
Well, Chamberlain, thank you for bringing me up. Well, we have a lot of issue with the government. And in the past, we have shown understanding. And we did that because of the teeming populace. Because we know when we withdraw our services, Nigerians will suffer. JOHESU is the workforce. We make about 95% of the workforce in the health sector. And we know that whenever we withdraw our services, the masses will suffer. We have given several ultimatums to the government, and this issue can be traced back to 2009, when we had a collectively bargained agreement with the government. And part of the issues that we agreed upon during that period was, one, that there should be a reconstitution of the boards of management of the tertiary hospitals. Two, that our members who have not been promoted from CONHES 14 to 15 as directors should be promoted. Number three, that there should be increase in the retirement age from 6 to 65, as done for the education sector. Then number four, that the 2008 job evaluation report should be implemented. Then five, there was a presidential committee led by Justice Abdullahi Bello. They had a good resolution during that committee's session. The resolutions were good and we wanted it implemented. The government agreed with us, and there were some issues.
When did they agree? 2016?
No. They agreed in 2012. That was 10th May 2012, that these issues were okay. There were other contending issues that were not resolved, that the then Minister of Labor, Chief Emeka Nwogu, now referred to the National Industrial Court for adjudication. And those ones were about four. One was the issue of skipping of CONHES 10. Two, the issue of appointment of our members as consultants. Then number three, the issue of payment of specialist allowance to our members. Then number four was the issue of call duty and shift duty allowance renegotiation that stemmed out of the 2009 collectively bargained agreement. So we had been waiting on the government to do the needful by implementing some of these agreed issues. But up to this moment, it has not been agreed on. I mean, it has not been implemented.
None of that is implemented.
And if there is any form of implementation at all, it's variegated. It's not total, it's not full. For instance,
so there have been some implementation.
There had been some implementation, but it is not holistic as it were. For instance, the issue of promotion of our members from CONHES 14 to 15 as directors, that has not been implemented as it were. In some places, you find them promoting people to CONHES 15, and they'll be calling them deputy directors against the provisions of the scheme of service. And in some places, you will see now that they even promote some people from one grade level to the next grade level, and they are stagnated. For instance, somebody had been on CONHES 11, and he has attempted promotion interview, and he passed. Instead of the person going to CONHES 12, they will still retain the person on CONHES 11. Ditto for those who will go from 12 to 13, they will just retain them on CONHES 12. Is that promotion?
We saw the notice, they were saying that part of your demand, which had to do with having your members on the boards of hospitals and parastatals.
Yes.
There was some notice that you hadn't submitted the list or something of that sort that you wanted, and government wanted you to respond to that. That was met, wasn't it?
Yeah, we submitted the...
this was last year?
Last year. And as I speak now, you know that the boards had not been reconstituted. And the normal norm, as it were, is that the provision, if you look at CAP U15, LFN 2004, that is the statute that established the teaching hospitals.
Yeah.
there are provisions there. And that's why we are calling for the review of that act, because it's obsolete. In a 13-man board, you will find out that 8 out of the 13 members will be predominantly from one professional group, the medical practitioners.
And that's why you have your graphs.
No, yeah, what we are asking for is equity, not equality. We are asking for equity, fairness, and justice. And because we call ourselves a team, and if you are a team player, you must take every team member to consideration, and that they are very, very important.
I know you might have, you've heard of this several times too, but there are those who also strongly still believe that the crux of this matter is the disagreement between your members, JOHESU, and the medical doctors. And
why is it so? You find out that the drivers of the system, like the Minister of Health, is a medical practitioner. The Minister for State for Health, a medical practitioner. The Permanent Secretary, a medical practitioner. It's just of recent.
So you don't like that?
No, there's no balancing. There's no balancing. There's no balancing. What we ask for, if we make up 95% of the workforce, then where is our representative? Who will speak on our behalf? When policies are drawn and are to be implemented, you will see that it will be skewed towards a particular group. For instance, residency program. None of our professional group had been given that opportunity to have residency program. But you see, the medical practitioners, they have it all well and good.
How do you mean none of your members have been given the opportunity? Is it part of the curriculum when they do go to schools? Is it provided for in the curriculum in the schools?
Thank you, my dear. Do you know that there is what we call postgraduate medical training? If there is, it is meant for all the professionals. For us, we use our own hard-earned money to have postgraduate medical training.
Who stops your members from going for any of those requirements?
Fine, thank you, my dear. There should be a policy as it is provided for the medical practitioners by the government. Okay? So we have on our own now, our regulatory bodies are trying to float such residency programs for ourselves because we need it. Nigerians need it. We need experts who are well grounded in their calling and specialties. But if the government is not thinking in that direction and is now trying to show overture to a particular set of group alone, that is not the team spirit.
So your biggest problem is the bias shown to the medical practitioners?
Yeah, discrimination that is that's inherent in the system.